As harvest season approached, fear began to spread across the village. A monstrous wild boar had been ravaging fields, destroying not only crops, but also entire livelihoods. This wasn't just a hungry animal, it was a force of chaos. In the face of this threat, we were called in to take action. This was my first time joining a team of professional hunters on such a dangerous mission. Could I stand my ground, or would I be the first to fall? Let's find out. By 5 a.m., we were already on the hunting truck headed straight toward the Moravia fields. Everyone was fired up, heading into position, according to the plan. With years of experience, the hunters quickly identified the patterns and paths of the boars. While I was still scanning the area, Jay spotted the target. A quick adjustment, and the first shot rang out. A 200-kilo beast had no time to retreat. It went down instantly from a precise burst of fire. It all happened fast, but it lit a fire of determination in all of us for the journey ahead. I continued tracking my targets, and then luck hit. A boar appeared in the open. I followed the steps just as I'd practiced. Boom! A shot more accurate than I expected. Before I could lower my weapon, another figure emerged. I held steady, confident, and took the next shots with calm precision. Victory was ours. Even as a rookie, I felt proud to have pulled my weight and completed the mission flawlessly. Meanwhile, Jay caught sight of a herd grazing at the field's edge. No stranger to the hunt, he acted fast, dropping one after another with near-perfect accuracy. What could have turned into a wave of destruction was stopped before it even began. Without hesitation, I moved steadily along the eastern edge of the field. Suddenly, a herd of wild boars appeared clustered right in front of me. I adjusted the scope, pulled the trigger, missed. The entire herd panicked and bolted into the pine forest nearby. I immediately radioed Jay and the others. The response was quick, fluid, professional, like muscle memory. In seconds, a new formation was in place. We pushed on. No one wanted to let this chance slip. Jay led the charge, navigating the rough terrain with confidence, following every faint sign left behind. When the target appeared again, his finger tightened on the trigger. One clean final shot. The boar dropped. We had stopped it from escaping and saved another part of this land from destruction. Jay wasn't finished. He moved deeper into the forest, knowing the thick terrain made the perfect hiding spot for stragglers. And he was right. With sharp instincts and years of experience, he flushed them out. Every shot found its mark. Boar after boar went down. The battlefield shifted entirely in our favor once more, Jay commanding like a seasoned general, every move precise and unstoppable. After that win, Jay led us forward. Not a single moment wasted, every sense on high alert. And it paid off one by one. Targets fell under my sights. Clean shots, no hesitation, no escape. The final call came through, mission complete. But more than just a victory, it was relief. For the villagers, the nightmare had ended. Their land and their peace was safe again. After years away, I returned to visit my grandmother, longing for the peaceful days of our quiet countryside. But the sight that greeted me was like a punch to the gut. More than 5 hectares of rice fields had been torn apart, barns collapsed, crops destroyed, all in a single night. The villagers said the wild beasts came without warning. No one had time to react. But I couldn't just stand by and watch my homeland drown in fear. Tonight, we head out, not just to stop the destruction, but to take back the peace that this land once knew. By 6 p.m., we were already on the move, riding in a rugged UAZ Hunter heading deep into South Texas. With weapons and gear loaded, we rolled straight into our planned position. Look at that! Night had barely fallen, and the hogs were already pouring out across the fields. That familiar anger boiled up inside me. I locked onto the lead bore, steady and cold. My finger squeezed the trigger, clean and deliberate. The shot rang out, and the alpha dropped instantly. But the rest? They were sharp, too sharp. Before I could even chamber the next round, they vanished into the dark. Now I understood why they'd torn this place apart so easily. But tonight is different. This hunt is just getting started. After the initial chaos, we moved with more caution, stopping to pinpoint their location using advanced GPS and tracking tech. Once the coordinates were locked in, we moved out, fast and focused. This time, I wasn't alone. Leon was right behind me, moving in sync with every step. We split into different firing angles, covering all possible escape routes. Through the thermal scope, each hog stood out crystal clear, lit up against the cool night. When the targets lined up, the shots rang out. Fast, clean, and deadly accurate. In just a matter of minutes, the entire sounder was wiped out. One by one, those black silhouettes dropped into the field. Silence returned. It was as if no one and nothing had ever passed through this place. As night settled in, the hunt hit its peak, starting right at 10 p.m. We moved in silence, step by careful step, making sure not to startle the wild hogs lurking nearby. This was prime time, when the hogs came out to feed, so the chances of an encounter were high. Our team spread out along the edge of the field, each member locking into position with tight coordination. Out here, any hog that got spotted didn't stand a chance. Under the crosshairs of seasoned hunters, every shot counted, and every shot landed. We pushed deeper into the terrain. Through the thermal scope, I spotted a lone hog quietly breaking off from the group, moving on its own. At just over 100 meters out, I had the distance I needed to watch its movement and line up the shot with precision. Once it stepped into the kill zone, I squeezed the trigger. 2 rounds fired in quick succession, clean, decisive. The hog dropped instantly, motionless beneath the cold blanket of night.
Hey! Woo!
Day or night, it doesn't matter. When protecting this land is the mission, we see it through. We got another report from our team. A sounder of wild hogs had been spotted on the west side of the field. Without hesitation, Leon moved in to close the distance. Under the cover of darkness, the hogs were busy foraging, completely unaware, their natural caution gone. Seizing the moment, Leon controlled his breathing, took careful aim, and pulled the trigger. Boom! Everything was done fast, but with deadly precision. In seconds, the lead hog collapsed, motionless. The rest scattered, vanishing into the shadows. We couldn't let them slip away. The chase went on relentlessly. Hiding in a corner, I silently watched the shadows at the forest's edge. These beasts are always sharp. One wrong move, one gunshot, and they vanish without a trace. But this time, I wasn't about to let them escape. Gunshots rang out in rapid succession, cutting off every possible route. There was no chance left for these wild hogs to ever roam this land again. And just like that, the night hunt came to an end. We headed back, loaded down with a full haul on the 2025 Ranger. No words were needed. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, knowing Grandma's crops and the villagers' fields were safe once again. Across the vast prairie, the fierce encounter with wild boar. On the grass, deep tracks remain pressed into the crushed blades, fresh droppings lie scattered, and claw marks gouge deep into the earth. Unmistakable signs of a massive, savage wild boar. We stopped dead silent, not a word spoken. Each man quietly checked his gear once more. If our instincts were right, the herd would circle back here. This wasn't a scouting trip or a game of chance. The mission was clear. Take down the beast that tore through 3 cattle farms in just 2 weeks. Would we succeed in bringing down this monster? The answer is coming up next. Every eye was tense like a drawn bowstring, tracking even the slightest movement across the prairie. Suddenly, the ground trembled. A massive herd of wild boars thundered past right where I stood. Locking onto the lead boar, a sharp shot rang out. It dropped instantly. Follow-up shots echoed, cutting down the rest as they scattered in panic. What a perfect kickoff to today's intense hunt. What do you think? Let us know. The relentless footsteps kept pressing forward, heading straight toward the neighboring field. Before long, a lone wild boar appeared, charging across the vast open grassland. But it was all over the moment my shot rang out sharp and true. The beast collapsed on the spot, another piece of land saved from the destructive grip of the wild horde. No time to rest. The sharp baying of the hunting dog signaled a new target emerging. Leon moved in swift. Ahead of him, the beast struggled to escape the pack, hot on its heels. With a steady aim and a firm squeeze, the shot rang out. The prey collapsed instantly, taken down before it could slip away. Leon's razor-sharp skills are undeniable, striking fear into the wild ones so they dare not make another move. The sudden noise raised alarms. The wild beasts quickly slipped into the dense forest beside us. Without a word, the team changed course, moving silently deeper into the southern woods. In just a few minutes, the rustling sound caught my attention. I swept my gaze toward the movement. There, a herd of wild boars was quietly trailing one after another. A sharp gunshot cracked through the air. The entire herd scattered in panic, leaving behind one motionless body. Without hesitation, we plunged deeper into the forest, swiftly hunting down any stragglers left behind. Not far away, a lone beast broke away from the herd, moving slowly and completely unaware. I locked onto my target. Bursts of gunfire rang out, tracking its every step. In the end, the creature couldn't escape the precise shots. A perfect ending, clean and decisive. Leon was no less impressive. Before long, he locked onto his target. With a single flawless shot, the prey dropped instantly, clean and precise. Gunfire erupted from all sides, signaling that the forest was under control. Tonight, the locals could finally rest easy. Today's journey has come to an end, thanks to the close cooperation between local residents, authorities, and those who tirelessly protect this land day and night. For us, every bullet fired is not just a display of skill, it's a solemn commitment to safeguard the land and the harvest. Each hunt takes place strictly within permitted areas, fully complying with legal regulations, and with a greater purpose: to control harmful populations, protect the ecosystem, and maintain the delicate balance between humans and nature. Thank you for joining us on this thrilling chase. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and stay tuned for even more intense hunts in our next video. Did you know? In the Louisiana swamps, a curse has been passed down since the last century. Anyone who hunts wild boar here must face their fate. These boars, with crescent-shaped tusks sharp as blades, tear through every inch of land they cross. Each footprint left behind is a warning of lurking danger. Yet the hunting teams do not falter. Brave and determined, they venture deep into the swamps, ready for a battle that will decide their destiny. It's not just about hunting wild boar, it's a challenge against fate itself. Stay tuned for the intense moments coming right up. Kevin's team set out toward the swamp. By the time dawn broke, no words were spoken, only decisive actions. The hunt began swiftly. "10 minutes into the search, Kevin's eyes never wavered from the subtle movements around him. Suddenly, piercing barks shattered the silence, drawing his full attention. Without hesitation, he rushed forward. Right before him, a wild boar was trapped, with nowhere left to run. The moment had arrived. A swift, precise strike brought the beast down instantly. One more threat eliminated in the blink of an eye. Before he could catch his breath, the sharp bark rang out again, just a few hundred meters away. Without hesitation, his steps quickened, eyes scanning the surroundings. As he turned, the wild boar suddenly came into view. One bullet was all it took to bring the beast down. Another threat neutralized in an instant. The sun rose high, yet Kevin and his team's determination never wavered. The relentless hunt pressed on without pause. A sudden rustle broke the silence. Alert and focused, Kevin immediately raised his rifle, ready for anything. As a shadow darted into view, bold gunfire rang out in rapid succession, each shot nearly flawless. Now, the land lay scattered with the fallen beasts, silent witnesses to the battle fought and won. Meanwhile, the California fields were engulfed in chaos. James and his team swiftly took control of the battleground, their off-road vehicle speeding relentlessly toward the action. From afar, a dark shape dashed at full speed, blurring James' vision, but he recognized it just in time. Arriving right at the intercept point, the beast charged forward. A perfectly aimed shot rang out. The heavy creature collapsed instantly. The prize now belonged to James, marking yet another victory for the team. No time to catch his breath. The baying of hunting dogs snapped James' focus instantly. Moving swiftly toward the source of the signal, he slipped deep into the dense sugarcane field. Every step was urgent, fearing the beast might escape. Oh my god! The giant beast suddenly charged straight at James. A powerful squeeze of the trigger. The bullet found its mark. The creature collapsed, trapped within the circle of hunting dogs. What do you think about that moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. As the sunset faded, James and his team raced to track down their final target before darkness swallowed the land. Circling the sugarcane field with no sign in sight, James remained vigilant, his eyes sharp. His patience paid off. A sudden rustle broke the silence. Rifle raised and ready, he caught sight of the beast just as it revealed itself. The familiar crack of gunfire echoed. Dead center, the bullet struck true. A decisive shot. Swift, clean, and precise. As darkness blankets the fields, the wild boars emerge from their hiding places, slinking through the dense forest in search of food. With their razor-sharp tusks, they uproot the soil, devastate crops, and cause millions of dollars in damage to farmers. Tonight, fearless hunters are ready to confront and stop these savage beasts. Will they have the courage to halt the rampage of these wild creatures? Join us for the thrilling moments ahead, and don't forget to pick the shot that impresses you the most. The moon rose high, and darkness gradually enveloped the vast fields. Thomas and his team were in position, fully prepared to confront the savage beasts. The team quickly spread out, surrounding the field, determined to reclaim the land that had been ravaged by the creatures for many nights. Not long after, the first gunshot rang out from Jack's position. Through his infrared binoculars, he swiftly spotted a wild boar grazing intently. Not letting it continue its destruction, he pulled the trigger. The beast collapsed instantly, its rampage brought to an end. From other positions, gunshots echoed one after another, cutting off all escape routes. A precise and flawless opening strike set the stage for a thrilling night hunt. At the edge of the field, a herd of wild boars was gathering, beginning their destructive rampage. One of the team's shooters, upon spotting them, quickly selected a suitable position and angle. Gunshots rang out in rapid succession, taking down two of the largest and fattest boars in the herd. But the remaining ones bolted, disappearing into the darkness. Receiving the signal, Thomas and his teammates moved to the location using the GPS. Through his binoculars, he spotted a herd of wild boars busily foraging. With everything prepared, Thomas swiftly took action to stop the beasts from further destruction. A barrage of bullets flew, taking down one boar after another. The field was now littered with the carcasses of the wild boars. Thomas's team had secured the safety of the field, at least for tonight. Night hunting is already a challenge, but hunting in a freezing snow-covered forest is exponentially harsher. Despite this, Nick's hunting team fearlessly ventured deep into the snowy forest to track the wild boars hiding within. After a tense wait, Nick's teammates spotted the boar herd silently emerging from the underbrush. Without hesitation, he opened fire. The rapid gunshots echoed, swiftly taking down the lead boar. However, the remaining boars reacted with lightning speed, retreating back into the dense thickets. The team swiftly dispersed, tracking the faint traces left by the wild boar herd. After 15 minutes of searching, Nick spotted a lone boar breaking away, charging across the snow-covered hillside. A gunshot rang out instantly, and the boar collapsed, completely unaware of what had struck it. On the other side of the snowy forest, a shooter in the team quickly spotted a wild boar hiding beneath snow-laden branches. Choosing the optimal position and angle, he promptly pulled the trigger. The bullet rang out decisively, and the boar collapsed onto the white snow. Another threat was eliminated.
Y'a rien, tire pas.
Shortly after, the other hunters took down the remaining targets one by one. All escape routes were sealed. The destructive beasts had no chance to cause further damage. Today's journey comes to a close here. Each tense trigger pull, from the white snow to the black night, helped erase the fears of the local people.
Magnifique.
For us, the battle against wild boars is endless. They wreak havoc year-round, regardless of the season. In the fall, when the leaves crunch underfoot, hunting presents its own challenges. But when winter arrives and the snow blankets the mountains, that's a whole different story. Each season brings its own set of obstacles, but the goal remains the same: stop these monstrous creatures. Today, join us as we experience both hunts and show you how we tackle them head-on. In the fall, when the forests don their new colors, the wild boars become most active, gathering energy for the coming winter. We set out trekking over the rustling dry leaves, determined to halt the destruction before it's too late. As the first rays of morning sunlight pierced through the leaves, my patience was finally rewarded. My rifle moved smoothly across the golden carpet of leaves. And suddenly, two dark figures, one large, one small, appeared in my sights. I held my breath and bang! The bullet struck the smaller one, bringing it down instantly. The larger one, in a panic, vanished deep into the woods. One shot fired, allowing the green shoots to rise again. What do you think of that shot? Let us know in the comments. Meanwhile, on the other side, the sound of barking dogs echoed loudly, signaling that the prey had been cornered. Without wasting a second, Liam rushed forward, heading straight towards the chaotic noise. In the blink of an eye, he reached the scene. He raised his rifle, locking his sights on the boar, fiercely fighting for its life. Boom! The battle was decided in an instant. I waited with unyielding patience. Amidst the relentless barking of the hounds, a wild boar charged forward like an arrow, its eyes burning with fury. The gunfire echoed through the air, and the bullet struck its mark. The beast staggered, then collapsed. Hours of waiting, only to end everything in a single moment. In this wilderness, there are no games, just the hunter and the one who breathes their last. Autumn came to a close with significant victories, but the battle was far from over. Winter descended, bringing with it bone-chilling cold and snow blanketing the mountains and hills. The terrain grew more treacherous, but in return, every footprint of the enemy was etched clearly in the snow. After reaching our strategic positions, we split up into barricades along the snow-covered trail. Every eye was locked on the hillside, where the bare bushes offered the perfect hiding place for the boar. From a distance, a whole herd of wild boars moved in a line across the white snow. Paul quickly took his position, his scope sweeping across the herd before zeroing in on the perfect target. He held his breath. His finger tightened on the trigger. The boar staggered, then collapsed onto the snow, silent and motionless. The sudden gunshot sent shockwaves through the herd, causing them to scatter in panic, racing up the hill before disappearing into the distance. They could run, but they couldn't hide. The footprints in the snow would lead Paul straight to them. At the same time, the relentless barking of the dogs echoed from below the hillside, growing closer with the beat of a war drum, urging me onward. I immediately dropped to one knee, waiting for the wild boar to reveal itself. Suddenly, the massive beast charged straight at me. A mistake. I gripped the rifle stock tightly, facing its fury. Then, the deafening crack of the shot rang out, and the beast collapsed just a few paces away, its final breath dissipating into the air. The heart-pounding confrontation had come to an end. One shot, not to spread death, but to protect the peaceful homes nestled at the foot of the hill. Amid the biting cold that seeps into our bones, our patience was finally rewarded when a wild boar stepped into the crosshairs. Got it! But it still struggled to rise and sprint away. Without hesitation, I fired again, the shot finding its mark in the vital spot. The beast collapsed completely. The gunshot rang out, not only signaling the end of the hunt, but also bringing hope for a bountiful harvest east of the village.